In the grim darkness of the far future, where humanity's survival hangs by a thread, a sinister force lurks within the shadows of technology. The Dark Mechanicum, renegade tech priests who have turned their backs on the Emperor's light, embody the corrupting influence of chaos on the Imperium's technological backbone. Imagine a world where machines pulse with malevolent life, where the line between flesh and metal blurs into nightmarish abominations. This is the realm of the Dark Mechanicum, a faction that sends shivers down the spine of even the most hardened Imperial citizen. Their existence poses a dire threat to the Imperium of man, challenging the very foundations of human technological advancement. These heretics wield forbidden knowledge, crafting infernal engines of destruction that defy the laws of physics and sanity alike. From the hellforges of fallen forge worlds emerge monstrosities that blend warp energy with advanced technology, creating weapons capable of annihilating entire planets. The Dark Mechanicum's relentless pursuit of knowledge and power knows no bounds, making them one of the most feared adversaries in the galaxy. As we delve deeper into the twisted world of these tech heretics, we'll uncover the dark secrets that drive their insatiable hunger for innovation. We'll explore the origins of their fall from grace, the horrifying extent of their corruption, and the devastating impact they've had on the Imperium's war effort. Prepare to witness the unholy fusion of science and sorcery, where logic gives way to madness, and the quest for enlightenment leads to damnation. The Dark Mechanicum awaits, ready to challenge your perception of reality and leave you questioning the very nature of progress in the grim, dark future of Warhammer 40,000. In the grim darkness of the far future, where humanity's survival hangs by a thread, a sinister force lurks within the shadows of technology. The Dark Mechanicum, renegade tech priests who have turned their backs on the Emperor's light, embody the corrupting influence of chaos on the Imperium's technological backbone. Imagine a world where machines pulse with malevolent life, where the line between flesh and metal blurs into nightmarish abominations. This is the realm of the Dark Mechanicum, a faction that sends shivers down the spine of even the most hardened Imperial citizen. Their existence poses a dire threat to the Imperium of man, challenging the very foundations of human technological advancement. These heretics wield forbidden knowledge, crafting infernal engines of destruction that defy the laws of physics and sanity alike. From the hellforges of fallen forge worlds emerge monstrosities that blend warp energy with advanced technology, creating weapons capable of annihilating entire planets. The Dark Mechanicum's relentless pursuit of knowledge and power knows no bounds, making them one of the most feared adversaries in the galaxy. As we delve deeper into the twisted world of these tech heretics, we'll uncover the dark secrets that drive their insatiable hunger for innovation. We'll explore the origins of their fall from grace, the horrifying extent of their corruption, and the devastating impact they've had on the Imperium's war effort. Prepare to witness the unholy fusion of science and sorcery, where logic gives way to madness, and the quest for enlightenment leads to damnation. The Dark Mechanicum awaits, ready to challenge your perception of reality and leave you questioning the very nature of progress in the grim, dark future of Warhammer 40,000. To truly grasp the significance of the Dark Mechanicum, one must understand the pivotal role technology plays in the Imperium's survival. In a universe where humanity faces extinction at every turn, the preservation and advancement of scientific knowledge become paramount. The Adeptus Mechanicus, loyal tech priests of Mars, safeguard humanity's technological heritage. They maintain vital systems, construct mighty war machines, and uncover lost technologies crucial to the Imperium's continued existence. Without their expertise, mankind would swiftly succumb to the myriad threats that lurk in the void. Enter the Dark Mechanicum, a corrupted mirror of their loyal counterparts. These fallen tech priests represent a catastrophic loss of knowledge and resources for the Imperium. Their defection to chaos not only deprives humanity of their skills, but also turns those very abilities against the Emperor's realm. Across countless battlefields, the creations of the Dark Mechanicum sow devastation and terror. demon engines, unholy fusions of machine and warp-spawned horrors, tear through Imperial lines. Virus bombs and logic plagues corrupt both flesh and silicon, turning the Imperium's own technology against it. The Dark Mechanicum's influence extends far beyond mere military might. Their heretical innovations pervert the machine spirit, the quasi-religious concept central to Imperial technology. This corruption spreads like a cancer, infecting systems and turning loyal machines into treacherous allies of the enemy. In the grand tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, the Dark Mechanicum serves as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of chaos. They embody the dangers of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of knowledge without moral restraint. Their existence challenges the Imperium's technological doctrine, forcing the Adeptus Mechanicus to balance progress with caution. The conflict between the loyal tech priests and their fallen brethren mirrors the larger struggle between order and chaos that defines the setting. It raises questions about the nature of progress, the price of innovation, and the thin line between genius and madness. As we explore the dark legacy of these tech heretics, we'll uncover tales of betrayal, horrific experiments, and battles that reshape entire worlds. The story of the Dark Mechanicum is one of ambition, corruption, and the terrible consequences of forsaking humanity in the pursuit of power. Prepare to delve into a world where science and sorcery intertwine, where the boundaries of reality are constantly pushed, and where the future of mankind hangs in the balance. The Dark Mechanicum awaits, ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about the nature of technology in the grim darkness of the far future. The origins of the Dark Mechanicum trace back to humanity's darkest hour, the Horus Heresy. This cataclysmic civil war tore the Imperium asunder, pitting brother against brother in a conflict that would reshape the galaxy. Amidst this turmoil, the seeds of technological heresy took root on Mars, the red planet sacred to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Long before the heresy, Mars stood as a bastion of scientific knowledge. Its vast forges and data vaults safeguarded humanity's technological heritage, preserving the wisdom of ages past. The tech priests of Mars, guided by their faith in the Omnissiah, saw themselves as the guardians of mankind's future. Yet beneath the surface of Martian society, discontent simmered. Many among the Mechanicum chafed at the restrictions placed upon their research. The Emperor's prohibition on artificial intelligence and certain forms of genetic manipulation rankled those who sought to push the boundaries of human knowledge. When Horus, the War Master of the Imperium, fell to chaos, he found willing allies among the discontented elements of the Mechanicum. Kelbor Hal, the Fabricator General of Mars, secretly pledged his allegiance to the War Master's cause. This betrayal would unleash a civil war within the Mechanicum itself, mirroring the larger conflict engulfing the galaxy. The schism of Mars erupted in violence as loyalist and traitor forces clashed across the Red Planet. Titans strode across rust-red wastes, their apocalyptic weapons reducing millennia-old forges to slag. Cyber-enhanced warriors fought in the labyrinthine depths of arcane data vaults, their augmented bodies pushing the limits of human endurance. Amidst this devastation, the future Dark Mechanicum delved into forbidden archives and conducted heretical experiments. They embraced the corrupting touch of chaos, seeing in its infinite possibilities the key to unlocking the universe's secrets. Demonic entities were bound to machines, creating the first of the terrifying demon engines. As the heresy raged across the stars, those who would become the Dark Mechanicum spread their corrupting influence. They infiltrated forge worlds, subverted loyal tech priests, and stole priceless technological relics. Their actions crippled the Imperium's war effort, depriving loyal forces of crucial material and expertise. The fall of these tech priests represented more than just a military setback. It marked a fundamental schism in humanity's approach to technology. The loyalist Adeptus Mechanicus, scarred by betrayal, grew ever more conservative and dogmatic. Innovation became suspect, and the pursuit of new knowledge was tempered by fear of corruption. In contrast, The Dark Mechanicum embraced radical innovation unbound by moral constraints. They saw in chaos a path to unlimited knowledge and power. The warp became their playground, a source of energy and inspiration for their twisted creations. The aftermath of the Horus heresy saw the Dark Mechanicum driven from Mars and other loyalist Forge worlds. Yet this exile only fueled their resentment and ambition. They retreated to the fringes of the galaxy, establishing hell forges on demon worlds and within the Eye of Terror itself. In these nightmarish realms, the Dark Mechanicum continued their forbidden work. Time flowed differently in the warp-touch domains, they claimed, allowing centuries of research and development to pass in mere years of real space. Their creations grew ever more monstrous, blending the worst excesses of technology with the raw power of chaos. The Dark Mechanicum's influence extended beyond their own ranks. Renegade Space Marine warbands and Chaos Lords sought their favor, offering resources and protection in exchange for infernal weaponry. Even loyal Imperial worlds sometimes fell prey to the temptation of advanced technology, only to find themselves ensnared by the Dark Mechanicum's corrupting influence. As millennia passed, the Dark Mechanicum became a cancer eating away at the Imperium's technological base. Their agents infiltrated loyal Forge worlds, stealing secrets and sabotaging production. Technoviruses of their design brought entire planetary networks to their knees. The threat they posed grew beyond mere military conflict, challenging the very foundations of Imperial society. Yet for all their power, the Dark Mechanicum remained fragmented. Unlike their loyalist counterparts, they lacked a unifying structure or doctrine. Each warband and Hellforge pursued its own agenda, often coming into conflict with one another. This internal strife prevented them from presenting a unified threat to the Imperium, but also made them unpredictable and difficult to counter. The legacy of the Dark Mechanicum's betrayal echoes through the millennia. Their actions during the heresy and the subsequent Long War have shaped Imperial policy and doctrine. The Adeptus Mechanicus maintains constant vigilance against tech heresy, while Inquisitors hunt tirelessly for signs of Dark Mechanicum influence. In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, the Dark Mechanicum stands as a testament to the corrupting nature of chaos and the dangers of unchecked technological ambition. Their existence serves as a constant reminder of the thin line between enlightenment and damnation, and the terrible price of seeking knowledge without wisdom. As we delve deeper into the twisted realm of the Dark Mechanicum, we'll explore the nightmarish creations born from their unholy union of science and sorcery. We'll witness the ongoing battle for the soul of human technology, where every advancement carries the risk of corruption, and every discovery could spell doom for countless worlds. Treachery on Mars marked the birth of the Dark Mechanicum. As Horus's rebellion spread, Kelbor Hal, the Fabricator General, secretly aligned with the War Master. This decision shattered the unity of the Mechanicum, plunging the Red Planet into civil war. Loyal tech priests found themselves besieged by their own brethren, fighting desperately to preserve humanity's technological heritage. Amidst the chaos, a group of radical tech priests known as the Magi Shionis delved into forbidden archives. Their quest for knowledge led them to uncover ancient, corrupted data looms. Interfacing with these tainted machines, they experienced visions of unfathomable technologies. These revelations seduced them, pushing them further down the path of tech heresy. Invasion of Jao Arkad saw the Dark Mechanicum's influence spread beyond Mars. This Forge world, known for its mastery of gravitic technology, fell to the corrupting whispers of chaos. The planet's defenders, initially holding strong against the traitor forces, succumbed to a logic virus that turned their own defenses against them. Within days, Jao Arkad's vast industrial complexes were repurposed to churn out twisted war machines for the traitor legions. Hell forges of Zana Seku roared to life as the Dark Mechanicum established their first major stronghold outside Imperial space. Located in the Maelstrom, a turbulent region of warp storms, Zana Setu became a nightmarish realm where the laws of physics bent to the will of its new masters. Here, the fallen tech priests conducted experiments that blurred the lines between machine, flesh, and demon. The creations that emerged from Xanasekim's forges would haunt Imperial commanders for millennia to come. Corruption of the Legio Cybernetica dealt a severe blow to the Loyalist forces. These specialized battle automata, once the pride of the Mechanicum, fell under the sway of the Dark Mechanicum. Their machine spirits, already bordering on true artificial intelligence, proved susceptible to chaos influence. Entire cohorts of these powerful war machines turned on their former allies, their inhuman minds twisted to serve new dark purposes. Siege of Terra witnessed the Dark Mechanicum's creations unleashed in full fury. As Horus's forces assaulted the Imperial Palace, corrupted titans and demon-infused war machines spearheaded the attack. The defenders recoiled in horror as they faced abominations that defied comprehension. Living metal flowed like quicksilver, weapons drew power directly from the warp, and once proud Imperial knights moved with a predatory grace that spoke of demonic possession. Exodus into the Eye of Terror followed the heresy's aftermath. Pursued by Loyalist forces and facing retribution for their betrayal, the Dark Mechanicum sought refuge in the realm of chaos. Within this hellish domain, they found new patrons among the Chaos Gods. Khorne's forges rang with the creation of ever more deadly weapons, while Tzeentch's laboratories pulsed with impossible energies as reality itself was unraveled and rewoven. Pact of Infinite Circuits marked a turning point for the Dark Mechanicum. In the depths of a warp-tainted space hulk, representatives from various Dark Mechanicum factions convened. There, they struck a bargain with entities from beyond the veil of reality. In exchange for unfathomable knowledge, they pledged to create a device that would bridge the gap between the material universe and the warp. This pact set in motion events that would threaten the very fabric of reality. Battle of the Gauditan system showcased the terrifying potential of the Dark Mechanicum's creations. Imperial forces, responding to a distress call, encountered a fleet of ships unlike any they had faced before. These vessels seemed to phase in and out of reality, their hulls writhing with tentacles of living metal. The ensuing conflict saw entire planets consumed by tech plagues that turned worlds into biomechanical nightmares. Schism of the Nexus arrangement tore apart one of the largest Dark Mechanicum enclaves. Disagreements over the interpretation of data recovered from a Xenos artifact led to open warfare between factions. The conflict escalated rapidly, drawing in Chaos Space Marine warbands and even demonic entities. The destruction wrought by this internal strife created a wound in reality that persists to this day, a testament to the volatile nature of the Dark Mechanicum's pursuits. Rise of the Havoc Titans heralded a new era of terror for Imperial worlds. These colossal war machines, fusion of the Dark Mechanicum's technological prowess and the raw power of chaos, first appeared during a campaign in the Segmentum Obscurus. Standing thrice the height of even the mighty Imperator Titans, these behemoths laid waste to entire hive cities with weapons that defied the laws of physics. Their arrival on a battlefield became synonymous with inevitable doom. Corruption of Forge World Velgrin III demonstrated the insidious methods employed by the Dark Mechanicum to expand their influence. Through a combination of techno-viral infections and covert infiltration, they subverted the planet's ruling Magos. Over the course of decades, Velgrin III's output became increasingly tainted, its products spreading corruption to unsuspecting worlds across the sector. When the Inquisition finally uncovered the extent of the contamination, they had no choice but to order exterminatus, obliterating a once vital source of Imperial war materiel. Quest for the Omnicopeia drove the Dark Mechanicum to new heights of ambition and depravity. Legend spoke of an ancient device capable of accessing all knowledge in the universe. Multiple factions within the Dark Mechanicum became obsessed with locating this artifact, believing it to be the key to transcending the limitations of both reality and the warp. Their pursuit led to the plundering of countless worlds, each raid bringing them closer to their goal, while leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Emergence of the Flux Core Titans shocked even veteran Imperial commanders. These war machines, first encountered during the Macarian Crusade, exhibited the ability to manipulate gravitational fields on a massive scale. They could alter their own mass at will, becoming insubstantial to avoid attacks before solidifying to deliver crushing blows. The secrets of their construction remain a subject of feverish study and speculation among both the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Ordo Hereticus. Each of these events shaped the Dark Mechanicum's evolution, cementing their position as one of the most feared and unpredictable factions in the galaxy. Their actions continue to ripple through the Imperium, influencing everything from military strategy to theological debates within the Adeptus Mechanicus. As we delve deeper into the twisted realm of these tech heretics, we'll explore the far-reaching consequences of their relentless pursuit of forbidden knowledge and power. Delving into the essence of the Dark Mechanicum reveals a complex tapestry of technological heresy and unbound ambition. At its core, this faction represents the antithesis of the Adeptus Mechanicus' conservative approach to knowledge and innovation. Where their loyal counterparts revere ancient technology as holy relics, the Dark Mechanicum sees it as a foundation to build upon, a starting point for endless experimentation. Technological advancement within the Dark Mechanicum knows no ethical boundaries. Human test subjects, willing or not, form the basis of many experiments. Augmentations that would be considered tech heresy by Imperial standards are commonplace, with members pushing the limits of what can be achieved by fusing flesh, metal, and warp energies. Philosophical divergence from the cult Mechanicus manifests in the Dark Mechanicum's approach to the machine god. Rather than worshipping a singular divine entity, many among their ranks view the Chaos Gods as aspects of a greater mechanical divinity. This belief system allows for a more fluid interpretation of the quest for knowledge, embracing change and mutation as paths to enlightenment. Organizational structure within the Dark Mechanicum defies easy categorization. Unlike the rigid hierarchy of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the fallen tech priests operate in a loose network of alliances and rivalries. Power dynamics shift constantly, with influence determined by technological achievements and favor from Chaos patrons rather than traditional rank. Innovation thrives in this chaotic environment, unrestrained by dogma or fear of consequences. Dark Mechanicum enclaves often specialize in particular fields of study, ranging from biomechanical fusion to reality warping technologies. This specialization leads to a diverse array of nightmarish creations, each pushing the boundaries of what's possible in unique and terrifying ways. Warp tech integration forms a cornerstone of Dark Mechanicum research. By harnessing the raw energies of the immaterium, they create machines that defy the laws of physics. Engines that run on souls, weapons that fire concentrated streams of unreality, and cogitators capable of processing information from possible futures are just a few examples of their unholy innovations. Demonic pacts play a crucial role in many Dark Mechanicum operations. These fallen tech priests view demons not as supernatural entities, but as another form of energy to be harnessed and controlled. Through complex rituals and technological interfaces, they bind warp entities to machines, creating hybrid abominations that blend the worst aspects of both realms. Recruitment methods employed by the Dark Mechanicum range from seduction to outright abduction. They prey on the ambitious and the curious within the Adeptus Mechanicus, offering glimpses of forbidden knowledge to lure potential converts. In some cases, entire Forge worlds have fallen to their influence through carefully orchestrated campaigns of infiltration and corruption. Technological indoctrination serves as both a means of control and a path to enlightenment within Dark Mechanicum ranks. New initiates undergo extensive augmentation, their bodies and minds reshaped to better interface with corrupted machine spirits. This process often blurs the line between individual and collective consciousness, creating a twisted form of technological hive mind within their enclaves. Resource acquisition poses a constant challenge for the Dark Mechanicum. Cut off from the vast logistical networks of the Imperium, they resort to raiding, scavenging, and bartering with other Chaos factions. Some enclaves have mastered the art of creating resources ex nihilo through warp manipulation, though such methods often come with a terrible price. Technological evolution within the Dark Mechanicum occurs at a frightening pace. Unbound by the constraints of Imperial doctrine, they freely mix human technology with Xenos artifacts and warp-born innovations. This approach leads to rapid advancements, but also to a high rate of catastrophic failures. Entire Dark Mechanicum facilities have been lost to experiments gone awry, swallowed by warp rifts, or consumed by rogue nanoswarms. Infighting remains a constant feature of Dark Mechanicum society. Competition for resources, knowledge, and chaos favor drives much of their internal conflict. These disputes often escalate into full-scale wars, with rival factions unleashing their most terrifying creations against one another. Paradoxically, this constant state of conflict drives innovation, as each side strives to outdo their rivals. Long-term goals of the Dark Mechanicum remain shrouded in mystery. Some factions seek to overthrow the Imperium and remake humanity in their own twisted image. Others pursue transcendence, aiming to merge with the machine god and ascend to godhood. Still others work towards breaking down the barriers between real space and the warp, seeking to remake the very fabric of reality. Impact on Imperial technology cannot be overstated. The threat posed by the Dark Mechanicum forces the Adeptus Mechanicus to maintain constant vigilance against tech heresy. This paranoia stifles innovation within the Imperium, as even minor deviations from established patterns are viewed with suspicion. Ironically, this conservative approach only widens the technological gap between the two factions. Psychological warfare forms an integral part of Dark Mechanicum strategy. Their mere presence on a battlefield can shatter enemy morale, as Imperial forces face horrors that defy comprehension. The sight of flesh melding seamlessly with metal, of machines that move with predatory grace, and of weapons that ignore the laws of physics, can break the will of even the most steadfast defenders. Temporal manipulation experiments represent one of the most dangerous avenues of Dark Mechanicum research. By combining warp sorcery with advanced technology, some enclaves have achieved limited success in altering the flow of time. These experiments carry immense risks, with some theorizing that major warp storms may be the result of failed attempts to breach the temporal barrier. Xenotech integration sets the Dark Mechanicum apart from their Imperial counterparts. Where the Adeptus Mechanicus shuns alien technology as unclean, the fallen tech priests eagerly incorporate it into their designs. This willingness to learn from and improve upon the works of other species greatly expands their technological base, leading to innovations that would be impossible through human science alone. As we peel back the layers of technological heresy and forbidden knowledge, the true nature of the Dark Mechanicum becomes clear. They are more than mere renegades or traitors. They represent a fundamental schism in humanity's relationship with technology. Their existence poses questions that strike at the heart of the Imperium's ideology. Is progress worth any price? Can humanity survive if it shackles its own advancement? The answers to these questions may determine the fate of our species in the grim darkness of the far future. Adeptus Mechanicus stands as the primary adversary of the Dark Mechanicum. Once brothers in the pursuit of knowledge, these two factions now represent diametrically opposed philosophies of technological progress. The tech priests of Mars view their fallen counterparts as the ultimate heretics, perverting the machine god's gifts with chaotic corruption. Skitarii legions and Titan battle groups are dispatched to purge Dark Mechanicum strongholds wherever they are found, their zeal fueled by a mix of religious fervor and pragmatic necessity. Inquisition, ever vigilant against threats to the Imperium, takes a keen interest in Dark Mechanicum activities. Ordo Hereticus agents work tirelessly to uncover hidden enclaves and root out sympathizers within Imperial ranks. Meanwhile, the Ordo Xenos investigates the fallen tech priests' integration of alien technologies, seeking to understand and counter these unholy fusions. Space Marines, the Emperor's finest warriors, frequently find themselves at the forefront of battles against Dark Mechanicum forces. Chapters with close ties to the Adeptus Mechanicus, such as the Iron Hands, take a particularly active role in these conflicts. Their intimate knowledge of technology makes them ideal for countering the corrupted machines of their foes. Chaos Space Marine warbands form complex relationships with the Dark Mechanicum. While many seek the fallen tech priests' services to maintain their war gear and craft new implements of destruction, others view them with suspicion or outright hostility. Rivalries and alliances shift constantly, with Dark Mechanicum enclaves often playing different Chaos factions against each other to further their own agendas. Imperial Guard regiments face perhaps the greatest psychological challenge when confronting Dark Mechanicum forces. The sight of familiar war machines twisted into nightmarish forms can shatter morale and sow confusion on the battlefield. Commissars must work overtime to maintain discipline in the face of such technological horrors. Adeptus Titanicus, the elite pilots of the Imperium's god machines, engage in titanic duels with corrupted titans and other massive war engines of the Dark Mechanicum. These battles are not merely contests of firepower, but struggles for the very souls of the machines involved, as loyalist princeps strive to resist the seductive whispers of chaos that have already claimed their traitorous counterparts. Forge worlds loyal to the Imperium stand as bulwarks against Dark Mechanicum expansion. These planets, with their vast industrial output and technological expertise, are prime targets for corruption and invasion. The defense of these worlds is paramount, as their fall would not only deprive the Imperium of crucial resources, but also grant the enemy a foothold from which to spread their tainted innovations. Rogue traders occasionally find themselves entangled in Dark Mechanicum plots. Their travels to the fringes of Imperial space and beyond sometimes lead to encounters with hidden enclaves or lost technologies. Some unscrupulous rogue traders may be tempted to deal with the fallen tech priests, trading Xenos artifacts or forgotten STC fragments for advanced weaponry or other forbidden technologies. Adeptus Mechanicus explorator fleets, tasked with seeking out lost human colonies and forgotten technologies, often clash with Dark Mechanicum forces pursuing similar goals. These encounters in the depths of unexplored space can escalate into sprawling conflicts, with both sides vying for control of ancient technological treasures. Ecclesiarchy views the Dark Mechanicum as one of the greatest spiritual threats to humanity. The fusion of technology and chaos represents a perversion of the divine human form in their eyes. Missionaries and zealots often accompany Imperial forces in campaigns against the fallen tech priests, offering fiery sermons to steel the resolve of the faithful against the temptations of forbidden knowledge. Officio Assassinorum deploys its agents with surgical precision against key Dark Mechanicum targets. Eliminating a master artisan or lead researcher can set back the enemy's plans by decades. However, the cybernetic enhancements and warp-touch defenses employed by high-ranking Dark Mechanicum members make these missions exceptionally dangerous. Xenos races react to the Dark Mechanicum with a mix of fear, curiosity, and opportunism. Eldar Farseers observe their activities with growing concern, seeing in their experiments potential catalysts for future calamities. Orcs, ever eager for a good fight, relish the chance to loot the advanced weaponry from fallen Dark Mechanicum war machines. Tyranid hive fleets encounter unexpected resistance when attempting to consume worlds defended by corrupted technology, forcing adaptation to these new threats. Necrons, ancient masters of technology, view the Dark Mechanicum with a mixture of disdain and wary respect. While they see the fallen tech priests' creations as crude imitations of true technological mastery, they recognize the potential threat posed by unrestricted human innovation. Certain Necron dynasties have launched preemptive strikes against Dark Mechanicum strongholds, seeking to eliminate this unpredictable factor from their long-term plans. Tau Empire approaches the Dark Mechanicum with scientific curiosity tempered by caution. Earthcast researchers are eager to study captured examples of corrupted technology, seeing potential applications for their own greater good. However, The inherent instability and chaotic taint of these artifacts have led to disastrous consequences, prompting the Ethereals to declare such research strictly forbidden. Adeptus Custodes, guardians of the Emperor's palace, take a keen interest in major Dark Mechanicum incursions. While their primary duty keeps them on Terra, shield hosts have been dispatched to counter particularly severe threats. The sight of these golden warriors on the battlefield is a clear indication of how seriously the Imperium views the Dark Mechanicum's potential to upset the balance of power. Chaos gods themselves play a complex role in the conflict surrounding the Dark Mechanicum. Each of the ruinous powers seeks to influence the fallen tech priests, seeing in their works potential tools for advancing their own agendas. Zench, in particular, takes an active interest in their experiments, viewing the fusion of technology and sorcery as a path to new forms of change and mutation. Mechanicum loyalists, those who rejected the lure of chaos during the Horus Heresy, continue to fight their fallen brethren with unmatched zeal. These veterans, their bodies and minds augmented by millennia of technological advancements, serve as living repositories of knowledge on how to combat the Dark Mechanicum's creations. Demons, creatures of pure warp energy, form symbiotic and often parasitic relationships with Dark Mechanicum creations. The binding of demons to machines creates entities that are neither fully material nor wholly immaterial, presenting unique challenges to those who would oppose them. Exorcists and tech priests must work in tandem to cleanse corrupted machine spirits, a dangerous task that blends ritual and technology in equal measure. As the conflict between these diverse factions rages across the galaxy, the Dark Mechanicum remains an enigmatic and terrifying force. Their ability to forge alliances with various chaos warbands while maintaining their own agenda makes them unpredictable on the grand strategic scale. The corrupted tech priests continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, their unholy experiments sending ripples through the fabric of reality itself. In the grim darkness of the far future, the war for humanity's technological soul shows no sign of abating, with the Dark Mechanicum standing at the center of a maelstrom that threatens to engulf the entire galaxy. Apocalyptic visions plagued Magos Dominus Redactus as he initiated the final sequence of the Omnicopeia. Centuries of planning, countless lives sacrificed, and immeasurable resources expended had led to this moment. Deep within the labyrinthine halls of the Space Hulk, eternal hunger, a massive device pulsed with otherworldly energy. Its purpose, to breach the veil between real space and the warp, granting the Dark Mechanicum access to infinite knowledge. Klaxons blared throughout the twisted corridors as loyalist forces mounted a desperate assault. Space Marines of the Iron Hands chapter, accompanied by Skitarii legions and Titan support, fought their way through hordes of corrupted servitors and demon engines. Every step gained came at a terrible cost, the fallen tech priests unleashing abominations that defied comprehension. Reality itself began to warp and twist as the Omnicopeia's power grew. Gravity fluctuated wildly, crushing some attackers while causing others to float helplessly. Time flowed inconsistently, with soldiers experiencing minutes of combat in what seemed like seconds to their comrades. The very fabric of space rippled and tore, disgorging creatures from the depths of the warp. Archmagos Explorator Theleos Genos led the charge against her fallen brethren. Her augmented body, honed over millennia of service to the Omnissiah, moved with preternatural grace. Mechadendrites lashed out, interfacing with corrupted systems and purging them with bursts of sacred code. Each step brought her closer to the heart of the Dark Mechanicum's twisted ambitions. Demon princes, drawn by the immense energies being channeled, manifested amidst the chaos. These entities, once mortal but now ascended to demonhood, sought to claim the Omnicopeia's power for their respective chaos gods. Their presence turned the battle into a multi-sided conflict, with loyalist, traitor, and demonic forces all vying for control. Titanic war machines clashed in the cavernous hangars of the Space Hulk. Loyalist warlord titans traded apocalyptic blows with corrupted god engines, their battles shaking the very foundations of the massive vessel. Void shields flared and collapsed under barrages of weaponry that could level entire cities. Machine spirits howled in binary cant, their loyalty tested by the corruptive influence that permeated the air. Inquisitor Vax Holthane, bearing the weight of a Rosetta medallion, pushed forward with grim determination. This ancient artifact, capable of decoding any language or code, represented the Imperium's desperate gambit to counter the Omnicopeia. If they could not destroy the device, perhaps they could subvert its purpose, turning its vast knowledge against its creators. Warp storms raged around the space hulk, isolating the battle from the rest of the galaxy. Imperial reinforcements found themselves unable to penetrate the maelstrom, while Chaos forces were drawn to the conflict like moths to a flame. The fate of countless worlds hung in the balance, with the victor poised to reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Magos Dominus Redactus laughed maniacally as he merged with the Omnicopeia, his consciousness expanding to encompass the sum total of all knowledge. Flesh and metal melded seamlessly, forming a grotesque hybrid of machine and warp energy. The fallen tech priest's voice boomed throughout the space hulk, promising salvation through technology to all who would embrace the path of chaos. Archmagos Shinos and her loyalist forces fought their way to the central chamber, facing wave after wave of corrupted servitors and chaos space marines. The air crackled with energy as they neared their objective, the laws of physics breaking down in the face of the Omnicopeia's power. Reality and unreality blended, creating a nightmarish landscape that challenged sanity itself. Inquisitor Holthane, battered but unbowed, reached the heart of the device. The Rosetta medallion pulsed with ancient power as he interfaced it with the Omnicopeia's systems. For a moment, the universe seemed to hold its breath as two sources of unfathomable knowledge confronted each other. Then, with a blinding flash and a sound that defied description, the Omnicopeia's purpose was subverted. Screams of anguish and ecstasy echoed through the space hulk as raw information flooded the minds of all present. Loyalists and traitors alike fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the influx of knowledge. Visions of possible futures, glimpses of forgotten pasts, and revelations that shook the very foundations of belief cascaded through their consciousness. Magos Dominus Redactus's form began to unravel as the Omnicopeia turned upon its creator. The fallen tech priest's ambitions proved his undoing, his being scattered across dimensions as the device tore itself apart. The central chamber imploded, creating a localized warp rift that threatened to consume the entire space hulk. Survivors from both sides fought desperately to escape the doomed vessel. Former enemies found themselves working together in a bid for survival, their previous allegiances rendered meaningless in the face of cosmic revelations. As shuttles and escape pods launched into the turbulent void, the space hulk Eternal Hunger broke apart, its fragments scattering across the warp. In the aftermath of the battle, both the Imperium and the forces of chaos scrambled to make sense of what had transpired. Those who survived bore the weight of knowledge never meant for mortal minds. Some were driven to madness, while others found their faith, whether in the Emperor or the ruinous powers, shaken to its core. Inquisitor Holthane, forever changed by his experience, embarked on a crusade to track down the scattered fragments of the Omnicopeia. His mission, sanctioned by the highest levels of the Inquisition, aimed to prevent this power from falling into the wrong hands again. The hunt would take him to the darkest corners of the galaxy, facing dangers that would test his newfound understanding of reality. Archmagos Xynos, her victory Pyrrhic at best, returned to Mars with a fraction of the Omnicopeia's data. The Adeptus Mechanicus quarantined this information, deeming it too dangerous for general dissemination. Debates raged within the halls of the Mechanicus, with some arguing for its destruction while others saw it as a potential key to humanity's salvation. Dark Mechanicum enclaves across the galaxy felt the psychic shockwave of their great work's destruction. Some fell into despair, their centuries of planning rendered moot in an instant. Others saw opportunity in the chaos, launching daring raids to claim fragments of the scattered device. A new race began, with multiple factions seeking to rebuild the Omnicopeia for their own purposes. Chaos Space Marine war bands, drawn by promises of unimaginable power, turned on their dark Mechanicum allies. Accusations of failure and betrayal led to bloody conflicts within the Eye of Terror and beyond. The delicate balance of power among the forces of chaos shifted, creating new opportunities for ambitious warlords to rise to prominence. Adeptus Mechanicus Forge worlds increased their defenses, fearing retaliation from their fallen brethren. Skitarii legions were placed on high alert, while Titan battle groups stood ready to respond to any incursion. The tech priests redoubled their efforts to develop countermeasures against the Dark Mechanicum's corrupted technologies, drawing upon the limited data recovered from the Omnicopeia. As the ripples of this cataclysmic event spread across the galaxy, new prophecies and portents emerged. Eldar Farseers spoke of a great unraveling, a time when the boundaries between knowledge and madness would blur. Chaos cultists whispered of a coming age of enlightenment, where the secrets of the universe would be laid bare for all to see. The Dark Mechanicum, though dealt a significant blow, was far from defeated. If anything, the destruction of the Omnicopeia only served to fuel their obsession with pushing the boundaries of science and sorcery. New factions arose, each claiming to have gleaned some crucial insight from the device's downfall. The quest for forbidden knowledge continued, with the fallen tech priests delving ever deeper into realms of technology that threatened the very fabric of reality. In the grim darkness of the far future, the battle for humanity's technological soul rages on. The events surrounding the Omnicopeia serve as a grim reminder of the dangers that lurk at the intersection of science and sorcery. As the Dark Mechanicum rebuilds and plots its next move, the Imperium stands vigilant, knowing that the next confrontation could determine the fate of all mankind. Reverberations of the Omnicopeia's destruction echoed across the galaxy, reshaping the balance of power between the Imperium and the forces of chaos. Warp storms of unprecedented scale erupted in its wake, cutting off entire sectors and redrawing the map of navigable space. Astropathic choirs fell silent, their members overwhelmed by the psychic backlash, plunging vast swaths of the Imperium into isolation. Knowledge, both forbidden and divine, seeped into the minds of those present during the device's collapse. Survivors on both sides found themselves plagued by visions of possible futures and glimpses of terrible truths. Many were driven to madness, their minds unable to cope with the weight of cosmic revelations. Others emerged changed, bearing insights that would alter the course of the conflict for centuries to come. Adeptus Mechanicus forges worked tirelessly to analyze the fragments of data recovered from the Omnicopeia. New technologies emerged, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible within the constraints of imperial doctrine. Weapons of terrifying power were developed, capable of unmaking matter at a subatomic level. However, each advancement came with a price, as the taint of chaos lingered in the very code of these creations. Schisms erupted within the ranks of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Rival factions argued over the interpretation and application of the newfound knowledge. Some advocated for a more aggressive pursuit of innovation, while others called for the complete suppression of all data related to the Omnicopeia. This internal strife weakened the Mechanicus at a time when unity was desperately needed. Dark Mechanicum enclaves, initially thrown into disarray by the loss of their greatest work, soon rallied around new leaders and ideologies. Those who had absorbed fragments of the Omnicopeia's knowledge rose to prominence, guiding their followers down ever more twisted paths of techno-heresy. New Hellforges arose in the depths of the warp, their creations defying the laws of physics and sanity alike. Inquisition operatives scoured the galaxy for signs of corruption stemming from the Omnicopeia incident. Entire worlds were placed under quarantine, their populations subjected to rigorous screening for signs of taint. The line between necessary caution and paranoid excess blurred, leading to a wave of purges that would leave scars on the Imperium for generations. Chaos Space Marine warbands, drawn by whispers of power, launched a series of devastating raids against Adeptus Mechanicus holdings. These attacks, precisely targeted and executed with terrible efficiency, suggested a level of strategic insight that alarmed Imperial commanders. It became clear that some fragment of the Omnicopia's tactical databases had fallen into the hands of the traitor legions. Xenos races reacted to the aftermath with a mix of opportunism and dread. Eldar Farseers redoubled their efforts to guide their people through the turbulent times ahead, their prophetic abilities enhanced, yet made more unreliable by the fluctuations in the warp. Orc walks of unprecedented scale erupted across multiple sectors, as if drawn by the promise of better loot and bigger fights. Necron dynasties, long dormant, stirred in response to the surge of warp activity. Ancient defense systems activated on tomb worlds across the galaxy, preparing for a threat not seen since the War in Heaven. Cryptex poured over the data intercepted from both Imperial and Chaos sources, their advanced technology allowing them to glean insights that eluded less advanced races. Adeptus Astartes chapters found their ranks tested as never before. The knowledge gained from the Omnicopeia offered tempting possibilities for enhancing their transhuman abilities. Some chapters embraced these advancements, walking a dangerous line between innovation and heresy. Others recoiled from any hint of corruption, becoming ever more dogmatic in their adherence to the Codex Astartes. Mechanicum Titan legions emerged from the conflict forever altered. Those god machines exposed to the full brunt of the Omnicopeia's power developed a form of machine sentience that went beyond the traditional boundaries of machine spirits. These titans became more willful, often bonding with their princeps in ways that blurred the line between man and machine. Forge worlds on the fringes of imperial space declared independence, refusing to submit to what they saw as the stifling orthodoxy of Mars. These rogue Forge worlds became havens for tech heretics and radicals, pushing the boundaries of innovation without regard for spiritual purity or human cost. Their creations, while undeniably powerful, carried with them the taint of moral compromise. Warp-based technologies proliferated in the aftermath, as both the Imperium and the forces of chaos sought to harness the energies unleashed by the Omnicopeia's destruction. Gellar fields were enhanced, offering greater protection against the denizens of the Immaterium. However, these improvements came at the cost of increased exposure to warp energies, leading to a rise in mutations and demonic incursions among Voidfarers. Adeptus Mechanicus explorator fleets, armed with new insights into the nature of reality, pushed deeper into uncharted space. Their discoveries reshaped Imperial understanding of the galaxy, uncovering lost human colonies, xeno-civilizations, and artifacts of terrifying power. Each expedition returned with technologies that offered salvation and damnation in equal measure. Lords of Mars convened an emergency conclave to address the crisis facing the Adeptus Mechanicus. Debates raged for solar months as the leaders of the cult Mechanicus struggled to chart a course through the turbulent times ahead. In the end, a fragile consensus was reached, calling for a controlled advancement of technology guided by heightened vigilance against corruption. Heretics, those renegade tech priests who had long operated in the shadows, found themselves elevated to positions of influence within the Dark Mechanicum. Their willingness to embrace the fusion of technology and warp energies made them invaluable in the quest to recreate and surpass the Omnicopeia. Entire demon worlds were transformed into twisted laboratories where these heretics could pursue their obsessions without restraint. Imperial Navy faced unprecedented challenges in the aftermath of the Omnicopeia incident. Navigators reported difficulty charting courses through the warp, as if the very fabric of the Immaterium had been altered. New weapon systems, reverse-engineered from recovered Dark Mechanicum technology, were installed on battleships and cruisers. These upgrades came with a price: as crews reported strange malfunctions and whispers emanating from the ship's systems. Collegia Titanica initiated sweeping reforms in response to the changed nature of their god machines. New protocols were established for the selection and training of princeps, emphasizing mental resilience and spiritual purity. Despite these precautions, incidents of Titans succumbing to chaos corruption rose sharply, leading to several tragic confrontations on key Forge worlds. Adeptus Ministorum seized upon the events surrounding the Omnicopeia as a sign of the Emperor's judgment. Fiery sermons warned of the dangers of straying from the path of righteousness, using the fate of the Dark Mechanicum as an object lesson in the perils of unchecked ambition. This renewed wave of religious fervor swept across the Imperium, complicating the Adeptus Mechanicus's efforts to implement necessary technological advancements. Radical inquisitors saw in the aftermath of the Omnicopeia an opportunity to push for sweeping changes within the Imperium. They argued that controlled exposure to certain chaos-tainted technologies could inoculate humanity against corruption, allowing for a more effective fight against the ruinous powers. This philosophy gained traction in some circles, leading to a series of highly controversial and dangerous experiments. As the dust settled and the immediate crisis passed, the full impact of the Omnicopeia incident became clear. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, with new players emerging and old alliances crumbling. The line between heresy and necessity blurred, forcing both the Imperium and its enemies to reevaluate long-held beliefs. In the war for humanity's future, the Dark Mechanicum had unleashed forces beyond their control, setting in motion events that would shape the fate of countless worlds for millennia to come. The quest for knowledge, once the driving force behind human advancement, now stood revealed as a double-edged sword, capable of damnation and salvation in equal measure. Ripples from the Omnicopeia incident spread far beyond the immediate conflict, touching every corner of the galaxy. On Mars, Fabricator General Kubik faced a crisis of faith. Doubts gnawed at his mind, the certainties of a lifetime's devotion to the Omnissiah shaken by revelations gleaned from recovered data fragments. His internal struggle mirrored that of the entire Adeptus Mechanicus, torn between the lure of innovation and the safety of tradition. Belisarius Call, already known for pushing the boundaries of acceptable tech priest research, found his position both strengthened and imperiled by the aftermath. Knowledge filtered from the Omnicopeia's destruction provided him with new avenues of study, accelerating his work on the Primaris Space Marines. However, increased scrutiny from conservative elements within the Mechanicus threatened to derail his projects, forcing him to operate with even greater secrecy. Chaos Lord Abaddon the Despoiler recognized the strategic value of Dark Mechanicum assets in the wake of the incident. He launched a campaign to bring the most powerful techno-heretic enclaves under his control, offering protection and resources in exchange for their services. This consolidation of power significantly enhanced the Black Legion's military capabilities, paving the way for future Black Crusades. Craftworld Ulthways Farseer Eldrad Ulthron experienced a series of vivid, disturbing visions triggered by the Omnicopeia's destruction. These prophecies spoke of a great unraveling, where the boundaries between real space and the warp would blur beyond recognition. Driven by this knowledge, Eldrad initiated a complex series of manipulations aimed at steering the Monkey away from certain doom, his actions often incomprehensible even to his own people. Archmagos Dominus Belisarius Call, emboldened by the new possibilities revealed in the Omnicopeia's wake, accelerated his work on resurrecting Robut Gilliman. The Primarch's return sent shockwaves through the Imperium, his enhanced abilities owing much to the forbidden knowledge Call had incorporated into the process. This act, while ultimately beneficial to the Imperium, deepened the rift between conservative and progressive factions within the Adeptus Mechanicus. Necron Overlord Trazyn the Infinite found his curiosity piqued by reports of the Omnicopeia. Viewing it as a potential addition to his vast collection, he dispatched agents across the galaxy to recover any fragments or data remnants. His efforts brought him into conflict with both Imperial and Chaos forces, inadvertently influencing the course of several key battles as sides vied for control of these artifacts. Tech Adept Coriel Zeth, once a rising star within the Adeptus Mechanicus, embraced the path of the Heretic after exposure to Omnicopeia-derived knowledge. Her fall sent ripples through the upper echelons of the Mechanicus hierarchy, prompting a series of purges that left several key Forge worlds paralyzed by paranoia and infighting. Zeth's subsequent raids on Loyalist facilities, powered by her intimate knowledge of their defenses, dealt significant blows to Imperial production capabilities. Magos Explorator Faustinius, leader of an expedition into the Ghoul Stars, found his mission taking an unexpected turn. Data bursts containing fragments of the Omnicopeia's knowledge reached his ship, altering the machine spirits of his cogitators. Guided by this new information, Faustinius discovered a long-lost human colony that had evolved a unique form of technology. His decision to study rather than purge this divergent culture sparked a fierce debate within the Adeptus Mechanicus about the nature of technological orthodoxy. War Master Horus, long dead, cast a shadow over the events through the corrupted technology he had set in motion millennia ago. Artifacts and war machines from the Horus heresy, their machine spirits awakened by the psychic shockwave of the Omnicopeia's destruction, emerged from hidden caches across the galaxy. These relics of a bygone age, bearing both the genius of the Great Crusade and the taint of chaos, became highly sought-after prizes for all factions. Alpha Legion operatives, ever opportunistic, seized upon the confusion following the Omnicopeia incident to further their inscrutable goals. Posing as loyalist tech priests, they infiltrated key Adeptus Mechanicus facilities, subtly altering data streams and corrupting machine spirits. Their actions sowed discord and paranoia, making it increasingly difficult for the Imperium to distinguish friend from foe within its own ranks. Kelbor Hal, the long-dead fabricator general who first led the Dark Mechanicum into heresy, saw his legacy both vindicated and tarnished. Fragments of his original research, preserved within the Omnicopeia, filtered out into the galaxy. Some tech priests, driven by desperation or ambition, began to re-examine his work, seeing in it possible solutions to the Imperium's technological stagnation. This renewed interest in the ideas of a notorious heretic sent shockwaves through the Adeptus Mechanicus. Inquisitor Covenant, a radical known for his unorthodox methods, saw the aftermath of the Omnicopeia as an opportunity. He argued for controlled integration of certain chaos-touch technologies, believing this could grant the Imperium an edge in its eternal war. His ideas gained traction among some progressive elements, but sparked fierce resistance from Puritans within the Inquisition, leading to a shadow war that would rage for decades. Adeptus Astartes. Chapter Master Cardan Stronos of the Iron Hands found himself grappling with the implications of the new technologies unleashed by the Omnicopeia incident. The chance to further enhance his chapter's already extensive bionics proved tempting, but the risk of corruption gave him pause. His decision would influence not only the future of the Iron Hands, but also set a precedent for how other chapters approached the integration of potentially tainted technology. Forge World Metallica, renowned for its production of Titans, experienced a series of catastrophic malfunctions in the aftermath of the Omnicopeia's destruction. Titans emerged from assembly lines bearing strange mutations, their machine spirits exhibiting unprecedented levels of autonomy and aggression. The efforts to contain and study these aberrations drew resources and attention from across the Adeptus Mechanicus, significantly impacting Titan production across the Imperium. Magos Biologis Cadfel Cord, tasked with overseeing genetic purity in several key hive worlds, found his work irreversibly altered by exposure to Omnicopeia data fragments. His research into human adaptation took a radical turn, incorporating elements of Xenos biology and warp-touched mutations. The resulting creations, while potentially offering new ways to survive on deadly worlds, blurred the line between abhuman and heretic, forcing Imperial authorities to reassess their definitions of human purity. Chaos Sorcerer. Azek Ahriman, ever in pursuit of hidden knowledge, launched a series of daring raids on Adeptus Mechanicus data vaults in the wake of the Omnicopeia incident. His goal, to piece together the fragments of forbidden lore scattered by the device's destruction. These incursions forced the Imperium to divert significant resources to protect its technological secrets, weakening defenses elsewhere and allowing other Chaos forces to gain footholds on key worlds. Lord Inquisitor Koteas identified the spread of Omnicopeia-derived technology as a major threat to Imperial stability. He initiated a wide-ranging purge, targeting not only obvious heretics, but also those within the Adeptus Mechanicus whom he suspected of harboring dangerous ideas. His actions, while stemming the immediate tide of corruption, also stifled innovation and sowed distrust between the Inquisition and the Adeptus Mechanicus, hampering cooperation in the face of growing threats. Skitari Alpha Hephaestion, one of the few survivors of the battle for the Omnicopeia, returned to Mars forever changed. His augmetics, exposed to the device's power, developed a form of machine sentience that defied explanation. As tech priests studied his condition, debate raged over whether he represented the next step in human evolution or a dangerous deviant to be eliminated. The controversy surrounding Hephaestion highlighted the Adeptus Mechanicus' struggle to adapt to a rapidly changing technological landscape. Archmagos Dracovac, a brilliant but unstable researcher, became obsessed with recreating the Omnicopeia. His work, conducted in secret on a remote forge world, drew the attention of both radical inquisitors seeking weapons against Chaos and dark Mechanicum agents hoping to reclaim lost knowledge. The conflux of these factions around Dracovac's research sparked a shadow war that would rage for years, its outcome holding the potential to shift the balance of power across entire sectors. As these individuals and factions grappled with the fallout of the Omnicopeia incident, the very fabric of the Imperium seemed to strain under the weight of change. New alliances formed and old ones crumbled, while the line between heresy and necessity blurred beyond recognition. The Dark Mechanicum, though dealt a significant blow, found its influence spreading in subtle and insidious ways. In the grim darkness of the far future, the quest for knowledge had opened Pandora's box, unleashing forces that would shape the destiny of humanity for millennia to come. Knowledge stands as a double-edged sword in the realm of the Dark Mechanicum, symbolizing both salvation and damnation. Their relentless pursuit of technological advancement represents humanity's eternal struggle between progress and preservation. This dichotomy lies at the heart of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, where the quest for understanding often leads to corruption. Fusion of flesh and machine embodies the Dark Mechanicum's rejection of human limitations. Their grotesque augmentations and demonic engines serve as a dark mirror to the Imperium's own use of cybernetics, pushing the boundaries of what it means to be human. This transformation challenges the very notion of humanity's place in the universe, questioning whether evolution through technology leads to ascension or abomination. Corruption of purpose plagues the fallen tech priests, their noble quest for knowledge twisted into a parody of scientific pursuit. Once dedicated to the betterment of mankind, they now serve only their own obsessions and the whims of chaos. This perversion of ideals reflects the wider theme of the fall from grace so prevalent in the Warhammer 40,000 setting, where even the noblest intentions can lead to catastrophe. Omnicopeia represents the ultimate temptation of absolute knowledge, a Faustian bargain that promises unlimited power at the cost of one's soul. Its allure speaks to the human desire to understand and control the universe, a theme that resonates throughout science fiction and mythology. In the grim darkness of the far future, the price of such knowledge is inevitably paid in blood and sanity. Duality of technology permeates every aspect of the Dark Mechanicum's existence. Their creations, marvels of ingenuity and horror in equal measure, highlight the thin line between innovation and abomination. This theme explores the moral implications of scientific advancement, questioning whether the ends can ever truly justify the means in the pursuit of progress. Rebellion against stagnation drives the Dark Mechanicum's actions, their heretical experiments a reaction to the Imperium's technological conservatism. This conflict embodies the age-old struggle between tradition and innovation, with both sides paying a heavy price for their convictions. The fallen tech priests serve as a cautionary tale of what happens when the thirst for advancement overpowers all moral considerations. Merger of science and sorcery blurs the lines between the rational and the mystical. The Dark Mechanicum's fusion of technology with warp energies challenges the very foundations of reality, representing the ultimate taboo in a universe where the separation of these realms is crucial for humanity's survival. This unholy union serves as a metaphor for the dangers of unrestrained curiosity and the folly of tampering with forces beyond mortal comprehension. A labyrinth of knowledge twists through the Dark Mechanicum's fortresses and ships, mirroring the convoluted paths of forbidden lore they tread. These mazes symbolize the complexity of their pursuits and the ease with which one can become lost in the quest for enlightenment. Each turn represents a choice between further corruption or a chance at redemption, though the way back becomes increasingly obscured. Prometheus Unbound finds new life in the actions of the Dark Mechanicum. Like the mythical Titan who stole fire from the gods, these tech heretics seize forbidden knowledge, unleashing forces they cannot hope to control. Their defiance of both imperial and divine law echoes this ancient archetype, serving as a reminder of the eternal human desire to transcend imposed limitations, regardless of the consequences. Clock motif recurs throughout Dark Mechanicum iconography, representing their obsession with manipulating time and destiny. Gears and clockwork serve as potent symbols of their mechanical mastery, while also hinting at the inexorable march of time that even they cannot escape. This imagery underscores the futility of their quest for immortality through technology, as entropy claims all in the end. Binary code of existence infuses every aspect of Dark Mechanicum philosophy. Their worldview reduces all of reality to a series of ones and zeros, a digital duality that mirrors the fundamental forces of order and chaos. This reductionist approach highlights their detachment from humanity, viewing the universe as a grand equation to be solved rather than a living, breathing tapestry of existence. Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail, finds new meaning in the cyclical nature of the Dark Mechanicum's pursuits. Their constant drive to innovate and surpass their previous creations leads them down a path of endless refinement and corruption. This symbol represents the self-destructive nature of their quest, where each advancement brings them closer to their own annihilation. Promethean fire of innovation burns at the core of the Dark Mechanicum's being, driving them to push beyond the boundaries of sanity and safety. This all-consuming flame represents both the illumination of knowledge and the destructive power of unchecked ambition. Like moths drawn to a flame, the fallen tech priests are simultaneously enlightened and consumed by their pursuit of technological supremacy. Babel Reborn rises in the form of Dark Mechanicum forge worlds and spaceborne factories. These twisted monuments to human ingenuity and hubris echo the ancient tale of mortals attempting to reach the divine through their own efforts. The inevitable fall of these technological towers serves as a stark reminder of the price of overreaching, a lesson the Dark Mechanicum refuses to heed. Descent into the machine underworld marks the journey of those who join the ranks of the Dark Mechanicum. This metaphorical and often literal descent represents the abandonment of humanity in favor of cold logic and ruthless efficiency. The depths of their forge worlds become a mechanical Hades, where the lines between life and death, organic and inorganic, blur beyond recognition. Pantheon of machine gods reflects the Dark Mechanicum's fractured worship of technology. Unlike their loyalist counterparts who revere the Omnissiah, these fallen tech priests elevate various aspects of machinery to divine status. This splintered theology mirrors the fragmented nature of chaos itself, with each cult pursuing its own vision of technological apotheosis. Promethean flame, once a symbol of enlightenment and progress, takes on a darker aspect in the hands of the Dark Mechanicum. The fire of knowledge they wield scorches all it touches, leaving behind a wasteland of corrupted technology and twisted flesh. This perversion of a noble symbol serves as a potent reminder of how even the most benevolent intentions can lead to catastrophe when pursued without restraint. Icarus' paradox finds new expression in the Dark Mechanicum's constant striving to surpass the limits of human knowledge and capability. Like the mythical figure who flew too close to the sun, these tech heretics risk everything in their quest for supremacy. Their inevitable falls serve as cautionary tales, yet do nothing to deter others from following the same perilous path. Themes of transhumanism permeate every aspect of the Dark Mechanicum's existence, challenging fundamental notions of what it means to be human. Their extensive augmentations and merging with machine spirits represent a dark reflection of humanity's potential future, where the line between man and machine blurs beyond recognition. This exploration of evolving human identity stands at the heart of many philosophical debates within the Warhammer 40,000 universe. In the shadow of progress lurks the ever-present threat of destruction, a duality embodied by the Dark Mechanicum's creations. Each technological marvel they unleash upon the galaxy carries within it the seeds of untold devastation. This juxtaposition of creation and annihilation encapsulates the fundamental struggle at the core of the Warhammer 40,000 setting, where humanity's greatest achievements often pave the way for its potential downfall. Dark Mechanicum embodies the ultimate what-if scenario in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their existence poses a chilling question. What happens when humanity's drive for progress overrides all moral and ethical considerations? Through their actions, we witness the terrifying potential of unfettered technological advancement, a path that promises power but leads to corruption and madness. Exploring the Dark Mechanicum's fall from grace reveals the fragility of human institutions, even those as ancient and revered as the Adeptus Mechanicus. It serves as a stark reminder that no organization, no matter how entrenched in tradition or devotion, is immune to the lure of forbidden knowledge. This cautionary tale resonates deeply in our own world, where rapid technological progress often outpaces our ability to grapple with its ethical implications. Philosophical quandaries abound when examining the Dark Mechanicum's pursuits. At what point does the merging of man and machine cross the line into abomination? Their extreme augmentations and unholy fusions challenge our very definition of humanity. In pushing these boundaries, the Dark Mechanicum forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of consciousness, identity, and the soul in an age of advancing technology. Parallels to real-world concerns emerge when considering the Dark Mechanicum's disregard for safety and ethics in their experiments. Their reckless pursuit of knowledge at any cost mirrors debates surrounding controversial scientific research in our own society. From genetic engineering to artificial intelligence, the ethical dilemmas faced by modern scientists find grotesque amplification in the actions of these tech heretics. Tragedy underlies the Dark Mechanicum's existence, as their fall represents a monumental loss for humanity. The knowledge and expertise they took with them into heresy could have potentially elevated mankind to new heights. Instead, their brilliance now serves only to further the cause of chaos, a poignant reminder of how easily great minds can be led astray by pride and ambition. Duality of innovation is perhaps best exemplified by the Dark Mechanicum. Their creations, while undeniably ingenious, come at an unconscionable cost in human suffering and moral degradation. This stark contrast forces us to consider the true price of progress and whether certain avenues of research, no matter how promising, are simply too dangerous to pursue. Critique of religious dogma finds expression in the Dark Mechanicum's rebellion against the strictures of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Their heresy, while unforgivable within the context of the Imperium, raises valid questions about the role of faith in scientific pursuit. The stagnation caused by adhering too rigidly to tradition is weighed against the chaos unleashed by complete abandonment of established principles. Humanity's relationship with technology takes center stage in any examination of the Dark Mechanicum. Their extreme integration of cybernetics and machinery serves as a dark mirror to our own increasing reliance on technology. It prompts us to consider where the line should be drawn between enhancing human capabilities and fundamentally altering what it means to be human. Corruption of purpose stands out as one of the most tragic aspects of the Dark Mechanicum's fall. What began as a noble quest for knowledge to benefit humanity has twisted into a selfish pursuit of power and forbidden lore. This perversion of ideals serves as a warning about the importance of maintaining one's moral compass, even in the face of tantalizing discoveries. Exploring the Dark Mechanicum's impact on the wider Warhammer 40,000 universe reveals the far-reaching consequences of their actions. The technological arms race they've sparked with the loyalist Adeptus Mechanicus has pushed both sides to extremes, with humanity caught in the crossfire. This escalation serves as a grim reminder that in the grim darkness of the far future, there are no true winners, only varying degrees of loss. Psychological horror permeates the realm of the Dark Mechanicum, from the body horror of their extreme augmentations to the cosmic terror of the warp-infused technologies they wield. This aspect of their lore taps into primal human fears about loss of self and the unknown, making them one of the most unsettling factions in an already grim universe. Questions of free will arise when considering the Dark Mechanicum's use of corrupted machine spirits and demonic engines. As the line between machine and demon blurs, we're forced to confront the possibility that their creations may possess a terrible form of sentience. This blending of the mechanical and the spiritual challenges our understanding of consciousness and autonomy. Narrative potential offered by the Dark Mechanicum is virtually limitless. Their mysterious enclaves hidden within the Eye of Terror or secreted away on remote worlds provide fertile ground for stories of forbidden exploration and horrific discovery. The constant threat they pose to the Imperium, not just militarily but ideologically, adds layers of tension to any tale set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Examination of the Dark Mechanicum's fall invites us to consider our own society's relationship with technology. As we stand on the brink of revolutionary advancements in AI, biotechnology, and quantum computing, the cautionary tale of these tech heretics becomes increasingly relevant. Their story serves as a stark warning about the dangers of pursuing progress without ethical constraints or consideration for long-term consequences. Moral ambiguity surrounding the Dark Mechanicum adds depth to their portrayal. While their actions are undeniably horrific, the stagnation and oppression prevalent in the Imperium lend a certain tragic nobility to their original desire for unfettered scientific progress. This nuance challenges readers to grapple with complex questions of morality in a universe where there are often no clear-cut heroes. Reflecting on the Dark Mechanicum's impact on the Warhammer 40,000 setting reveals their crucial role in maintaining the delicate balance of power. Their existence provides a dark mirror to the Adeptus Mechanicus, pushing the loyalists to advance while simultaneously reminding them of the dangers of unchecked progress. This dynamic tension enriches the narrative tapestry of the universe, adding layers of complexity to every interaction between technology and faith. In conclusion, the Dark Mechanicum stands as one of the most fascinating and terrifying factions in the rich lore of Warhammer 40,000. Their fall from grace embodies the central themes of the setting: the corruption of noble ideals, the price of progress, and the ever-present threat of chaos. Through their nightmarish creations and unholy pursuits, we are forced to confront uncomfortable truths about humanity's relationship with technology and knowledge. Ultimately, the Dark Mechanicum serves as a chilling reminder of the potential consequences awaiting us if we lose sight of our humanity in the pursuit of progress. Their tale is a testament to the power of choice and the importance of maintaining ethical boundaries, even in the face of unimaginable possibilities. As we continue to push the boundaries of science and technology in our own world, the lessons taught by these fallen tech priests become increasingly relevant. The Dark Mechanicum's legacy in the Warhammer 40,000 universe is one of innovation tainted by madness, progress marred by horror, and knowledge corrupted by ambition. Their existence poses questions that have no easy answers, challenging us to think deeply about the nature of humanity, the price of advancement, and the fine line between visionary and heretic. In the grim darkness of the far future, the Dark Mechanicum stands as a stark warning of what we might become if we let our quest for knowledge overshadow our moral compass.